Hello, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm LaKendra Tooks, and it's time for Tooks Takes. Happy Ken's Day! Don't you just love Ken's Day? I hope you're not hate listening. I mean, look, a listen's a listen. So if you are hate listening to Tooks Takes right now, thank you. I mean, I really am doing a lot of hate watching on my TV right now. I feel like I'm a TV show masochist, and I'm getting a wrinkle in betwixt my brows because I'm scowling so much and my throat hurts because I'm screaming and hollering at the TV. But as I've always said, Housewives is my sports. And for me, Bravo is my ESPN. Watch what happens live. That's my sports center. And that's how I relate to my father because, I know better than to call him on a Sunday, Monday, and sometimes a Thursday during football season because he's screaming at the TV, hollering at the TV. I say, Dad, you sound like me when I'm watching Real Housewives of Miami. But I think we've all collectively been hate watching. And just like that, the Sex and the City little reboot. There's only 2 episodes left. They're canceling it. It's the end of an era. And I've seen a lot of girls and gays posting their little tributes to Carrie Bradshaw and Sex and the City. I mean, I feel like that show meant so much to us. I started watching Sex and the City when I was in college. I loved the show. I loved the fashion, the commentary on love, friendship, dating. I found it all super relatable. And what I love the most about Sex and the City, aside from the fab fashion, because baby, yes, I do love the fashions. Now they're shopping at Dior. I had to go find my Dior at TJ Maxx and Ross, but I still found it. Okay. I had to sometimes go through the bargain bins. I mean, these jeans, these are some bargain bin, little old school vintage jeans. I'm literally wearing mom jeans, y'all. These are my mom's jeans from the 80s. These are like chick, I think that's how you pronounce it, chick jeans. So I've got the high waist. And let me tell y'all, so these are my vintage mom jeans from the 80s. And what I love about the mom jeans, I'm going to just show y'all a little. Listen, by the way, if you're listening, thank you. But also, watch the YouTube, watch the Spotify so that you can see the cakes in my vintage mom jeans. Thank you very much. Because y'all, I'm in my fitness era right now. Y'all know I was on my weight loss journey. Well, so now I'm in the fitness era because now I'm trying to maintain, I'm toning, I'm making sure everything stays tight and right. So when I lost weight, y'all know how it is, girls. When you lose weight, you lose your boobs and you lose your butt. And then eventually, if you're lucky, you'll finally lose that stomach. So I lost a lot of boobage and I lost a lot of buttage, but my butt's coming back, y'all. I'm telling you. And you know what? I don't have anything against plastic surgery. Just for me personally, the way my bank account is set up, I can't really spend 10K on a BBL. So I got the BB at the gym, BB at the yoga studio. I got a BB doing lunges and squats and fire hydrants and kickbacks. I'm doing everything, y'all. And I mean, I'm down. Y'all ought to see me down there doing my squats. I'm down there with the weights. I mean, and I'm getting gains, y'all. I'm getting gains on my butt. My butt is growing. And you know what's funny? Y'all know, if you're an old school member of the Kens Day crew, you already know that I did get ghosted on Valentine's Day. Now, here's what y'all don't know. That guy, because this was back in January. And in January, I was having a dry January. So if you want to lose weight, you got to quit drinking. So when you're not drinking, you lose weight and you're smaller. So I was like super thin in January. My butt was smaller. And this guy says to me, "Oh, LaKendra, maybe you should be doing more hip thrusts so, your butt can get a little bit bigger." I'm like, "What? Who says that? Why are you trying to tell me anything about my body, about my butt?" Like, first of all, my butt was, even when my butt was in its little small moment, because it did only stay small for a moment, but my butt, I still love my butt. In its small moment, I still loved my butt. The curvature was still there. Now the peach came back, okay? Because before it was giving a little bit like a plum. Right now it's back to being its regular peachy self. And you know what? That guy's missing out right now. Because guess what I did after he ghosted me? I started doing hip thrusts. I was like, now I'm doing them for me. I'm not going to hip thrust for you, but I will hip thrust for myself. And baby, she got gains. She got gains in the butt. Anyway, let's get back to Sex in the City. I do want to also say about BBLs, they just look weird. I don't know, who's going to the right doctor. Listen, I'm a girl on a budget myself, and sometimes you do have to get the Groupon, but don't get the Groupon for your BBL, because some of these BBLs, they just look like, like somebody smuggling diapers in their diaper. Like it just doesn't look right. It looks weird, and they're on these little chopstick legs, and it just doesn't look right, y'all. Just come to the gym with me. Do squats and lunges and fire hydrants. You don't need the BBL. Now back to Sex in the City. Now, Sex in the City, it was so special to many of us girls and gays, and especially us single girls, because it made us feel like we can be single and fabulous, and we can live a full, fabulous life with or without the husband and kids. Cut to, and just like that. Let's just talk about the most recent episode, because there was just so much happening and it just makes no sense sometimes. So you were just like, where did this come from? First of all, Steve came back. Now, I love Steve. That's Miranda's baby daddy. I love Steve, and I'm just glad he can hear. They don't have him fumbling around the farmer's market saying, huh? Miranda, huh? So that's good. That's a plus. Now, Steve is rightfully upset that his 20-year-old son has impregnated someone he'd been having casual sex with. Clearly, somebody hasn't subscribed to my hookup phase system, because on my system, pregnancy can't even happen until phase 6. I mean, yes, phase 3 is raw dog, but that doesn't mean a fella can just leave his seeds inside of your garden. No, sir. You want to spread your seed in my garden? I need to get a walk down an aisle, because phase 6 includes eternal commitment and jewelry. My name needs to be added to all your accounts so I can make withdrawals. And then Miranda the Karen. Now, remember, Miranda made me so mad when she threw out her girlfriend's Canadian gin. Like, we get it. You're an alcoholic. But then she goes on this covert mission to find the baby mama at the beauty salon. Ooh, that sounds so hood. And of course, the baby mama is played by an actress who's a Nepo baby. It's Ben Stiller's daughter, okay? And she's pregnant but drinking Red Bull. And I mean, I just don't know. Then she's just farting. Now, listen, y'all, I have not yet been with child. I have not experienced the miracle of pregnancy. But I mean, I don't think is it going to turn me into Farty McFartenstein? Because I'm nervous. That's why you got to really be in love before you let somebody go to phase 6 with you and impregnate you. You got to really be in love. Because one of my friends did warn me about the gas that can come with pregnancy. She called them, quote, room clearing farts. So you do, ladies, and some of y'all gay people too, because I've seen some gay men get impregnated too. Y'all got to be real careful with who you go to phase 6 with. Because if you do get pregnant, you're going to be going through some things. You're going to be farting. So you got to make sure you got somebody by your side that's going to love you in case it gets stinky. Fart stink. And you don't want to be Farty McFartenstein with somebody who doesn't love you, because them farts going to get real old real quick. And I got to tell you, now Sex in the City used to have some good sex scenes. I feel like what And Just Like That is missing. We're missing the sex. And the sex we're getting isn't very sexy. I mean, I'm so glad they didn't show us like the nitty gritty of the sex scene between Rosie O'Donnell and Cynthia Nixon. Ew, I'm sorry. Ew. I also did not sign up to see any Mario Cantone sex scenes. I'm sorry. And his young boyfriend has a weird roommate, very Geppetto, because he's making a puppet of him. I mean, there's only 2 episodes left and they're dropping all this random stuff on us. And then, y'all, Seema and the gardener. I don't believe it. Seema and a gardener. I don't believe it. I don't believe Lisa T. Wexley is ever going to finish this damn documentary. And all this talk about Michelle Obama, we better get a Michelle Obama cameo. I know that the season finale is coming up, but she's been talking about Michelle Obama so much. We better get some Obama in the house. We better get Sasha, Malia, the dog. We need to get some Obama in the house because they've been talking about Obama all along. Now, I'm sorry if y'all have not been watching this because you may not know what I'm talking about. And when I ask people if they're watching and just like that, and they say no, I say, good for you. Don't watch it. Now, I'm so glad that this most recent episode, Carrie finally went to phase 2 with Duncan, the British author that lives upstairs while she was stomping around her house in her heels. But I'm still confused because we meet his wife. Is he in an open marriage? I was just so confused because I'm like, is he divorced from the wife? And then Charlotte, girl, you got to get control of your household. Why are they tap dancing and there's a renovation? And why don't you just put on some noise canceling headphones, Charlotte? And so you could do your little session with Rhea Perlman. They did have a couple cute cameos, throughout the show, but it's the end of an era, the end of a Sex and the City era. And I almost it's also the end of this and just like that era. This has been weird. We've been hate watching and I'm glad it's going to be over. I just want to give all props to Kim Cattrall, aka Samantha Jones, for only agreeing to do this show via text. I want to get there in my career where they're like, LaKendra, we need you. And I'm like, no, I'm only available via text. That's all I do now. I love that. Good for you, Kim Cattrall. I'm glad you were not a part of this, even though you probably would have made it better. Now, let's talk about a better show. Let's talk about La Real Esposa de Casa de Miami. The Real Housewives of Miami. Y'all know my Spanish is just a little. So let's talk about it. And also, let's get through it. Andale, because we got to get to the Real Housewives of Orange County. Now, first up, we are at the casa of two Loca lesbians. And Julia is still very hurt by Guerdy. And Martina's like, well, I'm just glad I wasn't there because I'd be real upset. And it's like, Julia, if you have nothing to hide, why are you so upset about the text being exposed? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have nothing to hide, I would have said, let's read them aloud. I would have been like, you know how they play the little Housewives, little scenarios on Watch What Happens Live where they play the different roles. I would have been like, you know what? I'll play me, Julia DeLulia, and Guerdy, you can play you, Wordy Guerdy. She talks a lot, but I love my girl Guerdy. So I'm like, Julia, if you're telling the truth and you have nothing to hide, why are you so upset over the text? And why is everyone so upset over these texts? One of the things that the housewives always say, I want to see the receipts. Well, she's got the receipts and she's got them displayed on like a little film strip, like on an overhead projector. I'm not mad at it. Julia DeLulia is mad at it. Why? Because she's a liar. She's a liar. Okay. And yes, I call Guerdy Wordy Guerdy because she talks fast and I know what y'all are thinking. High pot, meat kettle. But that's why I can understand Guerdy because we're both a couple of fast talkers. So I understand where Guerdy's coming from. But I'm also wondering, y'all, how did two older Loca lesbians get their hands on two baby boys so fast? Dinero. If you got that dinero, they will give you la baby. I'm just like, I saw a lot of people online talking about this, and it does make sense. It's a question that should be asked because, well, first of all, Martina has her health issues and they are older. I mean, I think they got to be at least in their 60s. I'm sorry, Martina looked like she might be in her 70s, but Julia did have that facelift while Martina was getting chemo. So maybe that's why Julia looks a little bit okay. But anyway, as I said last week, Miami CPS, if things go awry, y'all call me because I will be there. Auntie Kendra will be there in a heartbeat to rescue them babies. So in conclusion, the answer is simple. If you want to adopt some babies and you old and crazy, you just got to have money. Because when you have money, you can do anything. I feel like that should have been New Girl Stephanie's tagline because she is all about just showing us her wealth, which I'm fine with. Because y'all know I do not enjoy seeing broke Gina over on Real Housewives of Orange County. We will get to that later. So I do enjoy seeing the wealth. But so, okay, New Girl Stephanie tells this story about how her husband, her old, very old husband, Masood, had this big house, right? He had this house with his now ex-wife. Now, bear in mind, they just got divorced in 2019. And Stephanie says that her and Masood have been together for 11 years. Now, let me tell you this. I did find a little bit of scuttlebutt. Now, some of y'all have probably already heard this. I do want to talk about it a little bit more. And now this is all allegedly. Here's what what the streets were saying, that Stephanie was originally Masood's ex-wife's assistant, and she had an affair with him because she, like I just said, she says that she's been with him for 11 years. His divorce wasn't final until 2019. Now, was he maybe like in a separation or something? That I don't know. I don't have the receipts, but if I find them, I'm going to say, hey, Guerdy, please put them on the overhead projector so everyone can see. Now, keep in mind, his ex-wife and 2 daughters no longer speak to him. So that's why I was looking at Stephanie with a little bit of side eye, because she was like, I don't want him to look around this house and see any remnants of his past. But it's like remnants of his past. Like, he had 2 children with this woman. So his past is still a part of his future, but maybe not, because the ex-wife and his 2 daughters do not speak to him, because apparently, allegedly, the daughters are suing him for taking $6.7 million out of a trust he created for them. So Stephanie, allegedly, she went from mistress to Mrs. So sometimes, every now and then, you can turn a hoe into a housewife. And then it does say also that she, and I think I said this last week. I feel like she's trying to make us think that she's this amazing, incredible businesswoman, but I don't think so. I feel like her husband's just like, here, honey, yeah, do stuff because I'm old and I don't feel like it. You know what I'm saying? No, I'd love to see what she accomplished on her own outside of this old man that she was allegedly a mistress to. You know what I mean? Because she was on Caroline Stanbury's podcast, and we know Caroline Stanbury from Ladies of London and The Real Housewives of Dubai. Now, Stephanie was on Caroline Stanbury's podcast trashing Masood's ex-wife, saying how she never wanted to work and was just spending all her husband's money. Allegedly, she legally changed her last name while he was still married. We fighting. If you already are trying to be my man's mistress, now you're trying to steal his last name too, baby. We fighting. That's why I don't have my earrings on today, because I'm angry. These shows are making me mad. I am a TV show masochist right now. I'm just watching everything and getting mad, clutching my vape, drinking white wine spritzers, just trying to get through it because I'm mad at these shows. Now, what I do like about Stephanie? I like that she stands up to Alexia the Barracuda. Ooh, now there is some more scuttlebutt about Masood's ex-wife. I don't know that I want to get into all that because she's not on the show, and I don't know if she wants all like her name out there and stuff like that. I like to be really careful about things like that. That's just me, because I want to be respectful to this woman, especially if this young Stephanie just came and swiped her husband right from under her. And then Stephanie takes a look at the house. She's like, we can keep the house, but I need to gut renovate everything. It's going to cost so much money. We probably could have just bought a new house, but Masood really likes this house. So I just had to have it my way. And it's like, girl, I don't know, y'all. Y'all know I'm a flip-flopper. One week I didn't like her. Last week I was okay with her. This week I'm okay with her. I don't know, but I certainly am not okay with anybody being a mistress. Not on my watch. I don't play those games. Now, new girl Stephanie invites Big Booty Larsa over to have a tour of her new home that she's renovating. And Stephanie's like, look, I have not been to any good events with these girls yet. Alexia keeps coming for me. Now, Larsa's like, look, I know that you haven't had any good experiences with the group yet, but Kiki and I have planned this yacht party. It's going to be a lot of fun. But guess what? We're going to have to get 2 yachts because Julia and Guerdy, they can't be on a yacht together. Oh, I came up with names for all the feuds. Now, we already had the Larlisa feud, and we've got a ceasefire on the Larlisa feud. So right now, we've got the Guerdy Lulia feud. We got the Stephanie Barracuda feud. And we even have a feud between Adriana and Marisol. The Adriana and Marisol feud is hilarious. So more on Adriana and the yacht party in just a little bit, because Adriana proved why I love drunk housewives. Should we start making I love drunk housewives tees? Let's put that on a bumper sticker. I love drunk housewives, because I love drunk housewives. Now, so we've got USS Kiki, and then we've got USS BBL. And that's with Alexia Barracuda, Marisol, the cock drinker, new girl Stephanie, and sweet cheek, sugar lips, twinkle toes, Larsa Pimpin. Before the yacht, we get a quick scene with Alexia and her sons. Now, her son Peter, I like to be really careful with the kids, but Alexia's son Peter, he's had run ins with the law, but the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I mean, his father's a criminal and he became a little bit of a criminal too. But honestly, God bless Alexia's son, Frankie. He had that terrible accident and he's been, his recovery has been remarkable to me. And I think, he's such a ray of sunshine. So I don't really care for Alexia Barracuda, but God bless Frankie. And I just hope he continues to get better and better. See y'all here at Tooks Takes. We have a heart. We don't just throw shade. We throw love. We have a heart. She's off the show right now, but I love Dr. Nicole. Her husband, Anthony. Well, no, they're not married yet. But it is her fiance. They have 2 beautiful children together. And now I thought this was going to be drama, but it's not drama. Stephanie dated Dr. Nicole's fiance, Anthony, 20 years ago. So Guerdy calls up Stephanie on the FaceTime and they have a great little chat on FaceTime, which I think is adorable. But I do want to talk about Dr. Nicole just a little bit and the fact that she's not there anymore. Because Dr. Nicole, if you're listening, girl, I understand. And I don't blame you for not wanting to be there anymore because you don't want to have to deal with these mean old Cuban lady barracudas throwing PIs at you, sending people looking after you, doing all that stuff. It is not cool. So I do not blame you for leaving the show. Also, we met her father, last season, I think in the season before too. And not only did she lose her father, but she gave birth to a baby prematurely. And unfortunately, her little girl had to hang out, had to cook a little bit longer in the NICU. But now her little girl's turning 1 year old. And honestly, I follow Dr. Nicole on Instagram because I think she's so cute, so cool. I love seeing a beautiful girl who's a bad bitch, educated, has a great job, but still married. Well, she's not married yet. She's not married yet. Shout out to the ladies who aren't married yet. But you know what? If you're in an amazing relationship, that's what's important. There's a lot of people who are married, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have an amazing relationship. So, Dr. Nicole, I know some people may try to throw shade at you because you haven't gotten married just yet. But girl, you have a beautiful relationship. I think your man Anthony really loves you. He's super rich. So what? Who cares if Stephanie has a bigger private jet? She's also married to a really, really, really old man. And it seems like she had to jump through a lot of mistress-shaped hoops to get that old man. So honestly, Dr. Nicole, I think you win it. And I see you, girl, with your almost $100,000 Birkin bag. Y'all know I'm a Birkin babe. I got to find a bargain Birkin because $100,000 on a bag. I mean, again, the way my bank account is set up, I can't really make transactions like that at this time. And even when I can, I just can't imagine myself ever spending $100,000 on a purse. I mean, like they're cute, but there ain't all that. I mean, look, I'll just go get me a Louis Vuitton for a couple thousand, or just, I could just get a Chanel, or I'll wait till the Birkins go on sale. Or now, who cares how you acquire the Birkin? If there's any really amazing, rich people listening right now, and you got an extra Birkin or two laying around, and you want to donate it to this little baby Birkin babe, I will send you my P.O. box. Let's just skip ahead because first of all, let me tell y'all, I love a yacht. Confession, I can't swim. It is a stereotype, and I hate that it is a stereotype that is true in my case. I can't swim. However, I still love a nautical activity. I love a boat. Listen, I put on my life jacket. I do have my little flotation devices here, but I will put on a life jacket and I would get on a jet ski. I would definitely get on a jet ski with Larsa because Larsa is just full of all kinds of silicones and plastics and air. Larsa is inflated. So I think if you can't swim, girl, just grab onto Larsa. And baby, hope floats. And so does silicone. Those cakes. I mean, I got cakes, but Larsa got cakes. And she will look you dead in your eye and be like, what BBL? It's like, girl, Girl, you know if we x-ray your butt, it is just going to be a couple bones and then a whole bunch of various silicones, which is fine. Just keep it real. Just be honest. Now, y'all know I would keep it real. If I had a BBL, I would tell y'all, and y'all would be able to tell. You could tell the difference between a butt that was achieved through hard work or a butt that is just hard because it's full of silicone. You know what I'm saying? I saw a girl, let me tell y'all. Now, y'all know I go to Ross all the time. I was at Ross, and this girl at Ross had a BBL that it looks like she got the BBL at Ross. I was like, girl, it looks like you got a discount because it just looks so mismatched. I feel like I will give Larsa this. I do feel like she's proportional. I feel like she's, she's thickums. Whatever you got to do, girl. But I've seen also people talking about it online. People who are just maybe now watching Real Housewives of Miami, like season 1, where Larsa looked like her old self because she changed a lot. Like, remember how, like, in the 90s, people would interview Michael Jackson and they would be like, dude, you look really different than you used to look when you were in the Jackson 5. And he'd be like, that's ignorant. No, that's ignorant. No, I look the same. Da, 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 da. That's how Larsa is. She's like, I don't see a difference. I look the same. And it's like, Larsa, liar, saw. You look really, really different. Now we are having a yacht battle throwdown. I thought we were going to have to call the Coast Guard, okay? Because, we've got USS BBL and then USS Kiki. Now, y'all have to tell me, which boat would you rather be on? I don't think I'd want to be on the boat with the Barracuda. Now, but the good thing is over on the Barracuda boat is you do have Larsa, and she does make an incredible flotation device. But I think I would have more fun on the other boat hanging out with drunk Adriana. Adriana, girl, I'm gonna have to hire you to my writing staff because Adriana was delivering some shade and reads. Oh, Adriana, girl, legendary. Because, okay, first of all, Adriana got mad because Kiki was like, oh, Adriana, Marisol didn't want to be on a boat with you. And Adriana's like, I thought we made up. She's holding on to the grudge. Her and her bones, her and her dry bones and her bony knees. Why don't you get some plastic surgery on those bony knees? And why is Julia, my best friend, over there with the barracudas and their dry, bony knees? You think you guys are cool girls? No, you're just cougars. Somebody please put that in the Housewives Smithsonian. Andy, we need, you think you're cool girls? No, you're just cool girls. We need that on a plaque. You got to get that in the Watch What Happens Live Clubhouse. Or maybe, you know what? One of these days, let me manifest it. We're going to get ourselves a Tooks Takes Clubhouse. And we're going to have all kinds of Housewives memorabilia. That's where we'll do our little Housewives Smithsonian. Because I got to tell you, Adriana, girl, that's a good line. What kind of champagne were you drinking? Well, I'll tell you what kind, all kinds. Because Adriana was just gluck, 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 because she was mad. And I get that. I get that. Now, I'm a lovable drunk. Everybody knows that about me. When I get drunk, I'm like, I love you. You know that I love you. Your butt is so nice. That's how I am when I'm drunk. But not Adriana. She's going for the jugular. She is knocking Marisol right in the knees. And Marisol, all Marisol can say is, you see why I don't want to go on that boat? You see her? She's just full of hate. That's why I don't want to go on that boat. No, 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 no. It's like, Marisol, you do all this yak, yak, yak. How come you don't have any comebacks? All that yak, yak. How about a comeback? Now, Stephanie, the new girl, she can't stay on the boat too long. Oh, no. My suit's taking me to Canada. Girl, Canada? Yeah, we have a home in Canada. Okay. Something ain't right. Something shady. I'm telling y'all, the scuttlebutt that we were talking about all the things that Stephanie has allegedly done, that is definitely suspect. But if I'm thinking about it, because I love a yacht, I love a yacht. I love a nautical adventure. I love a boat. I want my man to have a boat. I think that's what I want. I want a guy who's a boat guy, so he can be like, "Baby, you want to go sailing? Sailing." I also love yacht rock. Like, that's actually my dream, to be on a yacht playing yacht rock. eating fried chicken and drinking champagne, baby. That's what I'm doing for my next birthday. I'm gonna be on a yacht, listening to yacht rock, eating fried chicken from Publix, where my Southerners at. Y'all know Publix has the best fried chicken. That's what I'm doing for my next birthday. And I will be turning, I don't know, maybe 28, 29. I don't remember. But anyway, now Guerdy's not there yet. So Stephanie had to, oh, wait, hold up. Now, before Stephanie can leave, her and Alexia get into it. I don't know why Alexia is being so spicy with Stephanie, because I don't really think Stephanie's coming after Alexia that hard. She's coming after her really playfully, but Alexia cannot take a joke. Like the next day, when Stephanie's in Canada with Masood and they do a little, Larsa FaceTimes her, she's joking around with Alexia because they had that little banter before when Alexia called Stephanie a chihuahua. You're barking like a little chihuahua. And then Stephanie's like, well, you got to quit barking at me. And then Alexia's like, I'm a Rottweiler. Actually, I'm a lion. No, you're not. You're lying about being a lion. You're not a lion. You're a barracuda. Because you're not a Rottweiler either, Alexia. You're a barracuda, baby. You're a barracuda. That's the only animal you identify with. You're a barracuda, and Stephanie. Now we are in the we're in the aquatics, so we're gonna keep it aquatic. Alexia's a barracuda. Stephanie's a flounder. But you know what? Alexia is kind of floundering right now because she just looks stupid picking these fights with Stephanie. Like she's the new girl. I feel like there is maybe a tinge of jealousy because I mean, look at Alexia's life right now. Todd filed for divorce. She's still pining for Todd. Now she's living in this place. She's only living month to month with Frankie. I mean, Alexia, I actually do feel sorry for her because her life is a mess. Like she loves to tell us that she's a star, but baby, I'm looking up in the sky and I don't see you. I don't see you. Celestial, you are not. So you may want to rethink that, Alexia. Now, let's get back to the yacht because Guerdy arrives a little bit late. Like Guerdy's coming for the dinner. So we have two yachts, but the girls are going to link up on the Barracuda yacht for dinner. So Guerdy shows up and it's a little tense because there's all these fights between various duos, various duels. You know what I'm saying? So my girl Lisa Hochstein, Lisa gets a little lit. Lisa, I like Lisa. Lisa gets a little lit. I'm really like Lisa's really growing on me. I'm like I like Lisa right now. But anyway, Lisa's like, let's play a little game. You know what? Why don't we all go around the table and say something nice about each other? Okay, you. How about you? Everybody who's at odds with each other. Marisol, you say something nice about Adriana. Adriana, you say something nice about Marisol. And Marisol's like, I like that you can play the piano. And Adriana's like, you have a good sense of style, but your knees are still bony. I mean, it's still, it's tit for tat. That's what we love to see on these housewives. They are just throwing light shade. Okay. So then Guerdy and Julia. Now, I thought that their moment was actually sweet. Like Julia actually said some really nice words about Guerdy. Guerdy said some really nice words about Julia. But then Julia's like, Guerdy, you really hurt me the other night. Larsa, Marisol, and Alexia, the Barracuda. They are really going at Guerdy. Alexia's like, how do I know you're never going to do something like that to me? And it's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, it's just weird because it was, and everybody's talking about this, and I got to talk about it too because it was crickets, literal crickets when Julia threw the drink at Guerdy. And now, why are they so up in arms over these texts, especially if Julia has nothing to hide? You know what, Alexia? If you don't ever do anything shady, you don't have to worry about anybody showing your shady texts. How about that? How about just don't be shady and Guerdy's not going to have to put you on blast? But to me, I stand by it. Guerdy had every right to put Julia on blast. And again, Julia Delulia, if you have nothing to hide, why are you so worried about the text being projected like that? Why are you worried? Anybody can project any of LaKendra Tooks' texts anywhere. Now, we also get the mid-season trailer. The mid-season trailer looks pretty good. It looks pretty juicy. And it feels like, Alexia you know she's still pining for Todd. Like, I mean, girl, you got Todd making you look so stupid. And I feel bad for her sons because I know if we're thinking she looks stupid, her sons, they're in protective mode over their mamas. But the mid-season trailer, I don't know if y'all saw it, we're actually going to get some fights between Julia and Adriana, which I am very much looking forward to because I really like Adriana. Adriana, by the way, I've never done this before. Adriana, you are the first recipient of my MVHW award, Most Valuable Housewife. Adriana, you were my all-star of the week because you got drunk, you got sloppy, and you read the dog crap out of Marisol, and she deserves it. She deserves it. And by the way, I like Marisol, but Marisol is a mean, bitter old lady. She can be really mean sometimes. And honestly, she can't go toe to toe with Adriana. You know who else deserves to get red? Pretty much everybody on the Real Housewives of Orange County. Let me tell you something. Here's my review of the most recent episode of the Real Housewives of Orange County. Yeah. This episode must have been sponsored by Juvederm and Restylane because it was giving filler. First of all, okay, we start out because we got a to be continued last week at Heather's birthday party that she's having 6 weeks after her actual birthday. So Shannon and Katie Janela are still going at it. And Shannon's like, "You're evil. You're even more evil than Tamra and Jesus Jugs." And Katie's like, "Girl, I got to go." She grabs her husband. I love it. When she grabs her husband, this is also what I'm looking for in a guy. Ladies, girls, gays. We all deserve a guy that when we go up to him and say, "We got to go," he could be mid bite. He gets up, we going. We got to go. If I say we got to go, baby, we got to go. We're not taking a to-go plate. You're not getting another drink. We're not saying goodbye. We're doing the black girl goodbye. You know how there's the Irish goodbye? Well, I do the black girl goodbye where I just leave and then I text everybody from the car and say, "Hey, y'all, I left." That's the black girl goodbye. But so I like Katie's husband now. Oh, I finally learned his name. It's Matt. So Katie's husband's name is Matt. Cool. Now, anyway, Matt is standing by his lady because no man wants to see his lady get ganged up on, getting screamed at by Shannon Bedore because I love Shannon, but y'all know when Shannon gets hot, she starts going. And when she starts going first name, last name on you, that's when you know you in danger, Katie Janela. So as Katie's leaving, Katie and Matt run into Tamra. And who does she have in tow? None other than Joe De La Rosa, Slade's ex. Now, if you're an old school housewife head, you remember Joe from season 1. Joe was really young back then, dating Slade. They broke up on camera. They had a lot of drama. And, Joe and Gretchen used to be friends. So I'm sure Joe is kind of feeling some type of way about Gretchen now being with Slade. And also, I got to throw a little bit of shade at Gretchen because she referred to Slade as her husband. Y'all are not married. I know you sang him that song and did a fake proposal and did all that stuff. And 16 years later, you're still not married. So, which is fine. Like I said, I think it's more important to be in an incredible relationship than to necessarily have that marriage license. But what you're not going to do is call somebody who's not your husband, okay? You got to say live-in lover, partner, shack buddy, we shacking up, baby daddy. Slade's your baby daddy. So just say that. That's my baby daddy's ex. That there you go. Fixed it for you, Gretchen. So anyway, Tamra's walking in with Joe. Now, before they come in, though, they're in the car praying, now listen, I'm guilty of praying about some frivolous things. I'm definitely guilty of praying prayers like, "God, please let my hair turn out pretty. Oh God, please let me be able to fit into this outfit that I'm planning on wearing. Oh God, please don't let my feet hurt too bad when I'm wearing these heels." I know those are very frivolous prayers, but this little prayer between Joe and Tamra, when Tamra knows she's wrong. I know God said, "Now, Tamra, where have you been? Because I haven't seen you around." You know what I'm saying? Because remember when Tamra got saved? It's like, "Tamra, I know you are not in church right now. The Holy Ghost needs to find Tamra. Holy Ghost, I know you listening. Please find Tamra. Catch a hold to her because something's wrong with Tamra. She's sick, but more on that later because my girl Jen Petrani, ooh, she laid into Tamra. She might get my second place MVHW award this week, but we'll get to that. Tamra and Joe walk up just as Katie Janella and her husband Matt are leaving. And Tamra, with her fake butt, I'm trying not to cuss too much. I'm trying not to cuss too much. I'm sorry, I got to cuss. With her fake ass. She's fake. Katie, I just want to make sure you're okay. Katie's husband is like, oh, now you care? Oh, now you want to make sure she's okay? And Tamara's like, what? Now, honestly, I don't like it sometimes when the men get involved, but I do understand sometimes when a man feels like his lady's being ganged up on and he wants to protect her. I mean, to me, that's a real man. A real man's going to go into protector mode. I personally, I thought the way that Matt spoke to Tamra was fully appropriate because, yeah, why are you pretending to care? If I was Katie, I would have been like, keep on walking. I ain't talking to you anymore. I would have just got in the car. She's like, oh, so it's my fault you recorded Shannon? It's like, no, girl, but it's your fault that the whole group knows about it. You knew about it a year ago. So why would you wait till right now to bring it out? Why? Because you nasty. Because you grew up on the wrong side of the trailer park. Because you're Tam Rat. You're not a dim rat. You're Tam Rat. And that's why I don't like you, Tamra. So we get back to the party. I gotta know, y'all. We gotta figure this out, y'all. Ken's Day crew. We gotta figure this out. What does Tamra have on the Dubros? Because I'm telling you, I thought Heather was going above and beyond to defend Tamra, but Dr. Terry too? What's going on? Dr. Terry? I mean, I don't know. We did see a few seasons ago there was that girl that had sued him over a botched boob job or something like that. Does Tamra know about another botching? Like, I don't know. There's got to be a reason why y'all stick with Tamra because there's just no way. Dr. Dubrow, Terry, you're very intelligent. You went to med school. Heather is a very intelligent girl. I know while Heather was off Real Housewives of Orange County, I know she was not hanging out with Tamra. I know they are only hanging out for the show, and I need to know what is this alliance? Because we know Tamra will turn on them, and I hope it's soon. Please, God, let it be soon. Because I just want to know what it is. I just want to know. Because there is no way. I don't care who you are. And if you are a fan of Tamra, now, because again, I'm not saying she needs to be off the show. I'm just saying there's no way anybody in their right mind is okay with her shenanigans. And let me tell you why I thought this episode was filler. I don't need to see them arguing at various coffee shops, doing weird yoga. I don't need to see Shannon in any more precarious. I don't need to see Shannon, doing yoga, doing acrobatic yoga. We all know Shannon's not in the best of shape. We all know Emily is not in the best of shape. I don't want to see the Incredible Hulk swinging from an acrobat thing. Also, I do not care about Gina's real estate career. I don't care about Gina and Travis and their real estate career. I don't care about Travis's balls. Why Gina got to bring up Travis's balls every episode? Lord, I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want Gina to be in the unemployment line, but maybe she could just focus on the real estate because I just don't think she's qualified to be a housewife. We got to get her off my show. Get off my show, to quote Vicky Gunvalson. Hey, Vicky, the OG of the OC. But yeah, filler. The amount of stuff that I fast forwarded through on this episode. Also, I don't need to see Heather doing with her $85 million house. I don't care because I'm telling y'all, if Heather wasn't rich, she would not be on Housewives. I don't know how Gina got on, broke as she is, but I'm telling you, if Heather, at least I'll give Gina this. At least Gina is a little bit interesting, but really, I'm sorry, Heather Dubrow is not that interesting. The only thing she's got going on, the only thing she's ever doing is being, mean, yelling to somebody else about something they're doing, or talking about how much money they have. You know what I would love? I want to see a Freaky Friday situation with Heather Dubrow and Gina. Because I just want to see Gina come up. I want to see Gina get to live that $85 million mansion life for just one hot second. Freaky Friday. Now, this is unsponsored, but they're doing a Freaky Friday reboot. We're in our reboot era as a society right now. So I want to see a Freaky Friday where Heather and Gina get to switch lives. Gina deserves a little come up. Poach, I've been living in the casino for far too long. Jim Petrani. First of all, when you said to Tamra, can we just meet up and talk? I'm like, girl, don't do it. It is a waste of your precious time. I would rather watch Jen and Ryan go get more veneers. Now listen, I did not know that was the OC Hot Housewife MILF starter pack. You got to get your boobies. Well, I already got a pair of boobies. Y'all know I'm a childless MILF. So if I move to the OC, I think I actually will fit in. I'm not blonde, but I think I'd actually be a cute blonde. I could go blonde, and I don't need veneers. Thank you, God. Again, the way my bank account is set up, I don't know how much veneers cost, but they got to be expensive because they're making real porcelain teeth. I might go and get myself some porcelain teeth later when I get older. But in the Tooks family, we got really strong teeth. My grandmother, even in her 80s, my grandmother had all her teeth. My grandmother didn't never need anybody's dentures. So I don't think I'm going to need any veneers. Oh, Jen? I don't know if she put some extra creatine in her smoothie, but Jen is on one now. She's been on one since she had to cuss Tamra out last year. Now she is no more Miss Nice Jen. Okay, let's take a look at the kids. Let's take a look at Jen's son. Okay, she got one son in college, another son about to serve his country in the Marines. Very admirable. And we all know what Tamra's oldest son is up to. Is he still working at that farm? Is he still a farmhand? If you know whether or not Tamra's oldest son, Ryan, is still a cowboy cosplay farmhand, please let me know. So, yeah, Tamra, no one wants to be you. And she's such a liar to sit there and be like, oh, Jen wore my extensions. It's like she just tried your extensions on. If I go to the hair salon and they're like, girl, Nene Leakes was just here, girl. You want to try on one of her wigs? Hell yes. Please, please. Kim Zolciak was just here. You want to try on one of her wigs? Yes. Do I want to be Nene? No. Do I want to be Kim Zolciak? No. Am I a single Black female? Yes. I am a single Black female right now, but not in a weird way. That's just a fact. I'm single, I'm Black, and I'm female. But yeah, Tamra's just such a liar. And Jen sat down like this. Jen said, you're sick. You think I want to be you? Oh, why would I want to be you? Because you're so special. You know what you are? You're sick. How's therapy going? Ooh, I'm gonna start using that one, Jen. I learned some good new reads today, and I'm gonna start implementing them throughout this week. So don't piss me off. Because if you piss me off this week, I'm gonna sit right across from you at the table and say, how's your therapy session going? How's your therapist going? I heard you found your therapist at Ross because you're still cuckoo. Maybe have an extra session this week. Jen got her together because here's what I know. When you're right, you don't leave. When you're right, you stay right there and say, da 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 da. You'll be ready to go. You'll be ready to go back and forth. You're ready for the tit for tat. But as soon as Jen told Tamra the truth, you're sick. Tamra couldn't take it. So yeah, this season, Jen, keep your foot on Tamra's neck. And by the way, Tamra's making fun of Jen for getting work done. Meanwhile, you reached out to her to say, hey, girl, who did your tummy tuck? Come on. Come on. Now, who did yours, Tamra? Did you go to Jen's same person? Because you said that Jen went to your same doctors. You're just such a liar. You're just a liar. We don't like liars here at Tooks Takes. Here at Tooks Takes, we only speak in truth, allegedly. Now, before we get out of here, let me tell y'all my Tooks takeaway for today. Let me share a story. As some of you may or may not know, my background is comedy. I've done lots of improv. Out of all the things I do, stand up is the one thing I'm most afraid of. It is very daunting, it's very scary. I feel like stand up is a very unique art form because you get the feedback immediately. You either immediately hear the laughter or not. Nobody comes to you 3 days later and says, ha 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 ha. No, you need to either hear that laughter or not. And I know for me, like I'm kind of like, you know how like Lady Gaga's like, I live for the applause. I live for the laughs. So I came out, I'm doing my thing. I hadn't been on stage in years, y'all. And I'm used to really knocking it out of the park. I'm used to getting an A+. My first time back on stage in a while, I only give myself a B. And I'm being honest about that. Also, shout out to Nikki Paris. Hey, Nikki. Nikki Paris invited me to do the show. And also, Annie Sharp's man, Bryson. Oh, Bryson, I cannot think of your last name right now, honey, but I love you, Bryson. You know Annie Sharp, Jeff Lewis's social media gal. Her boyfriend, Bryson, is a really funny, amazing comedian. So many great comics that night. They all got A+. And yes, I will admit, I only got a B. But here's the Tooks takeaway. I conquered a fear. I was so scared. I was so nervous, but I did it. And even when I won't say I bombed, but I did. There were some times where I was expecting a laugh that I didn't get a laugh. And that stinks when you're on stage. And I was up there for a good 15 minutes and it was scary. But I did it and it felt good to do it. And I want you to do something that you're afraid of. I want you to do it. So I know for me, I want to get good at stand up again. The next time I do stand up, I want to get an A+. I want my A+ back. So I'm working at it. I'm going to be doing open mics. I'm going to be doing my thing. So listen, y'all, to quote Aaliyah, if at first you don't succeed, you got to dust yourself off and try again. So I'm dusting myself off. I'm trying again. And that's the Tooks takeaway for today. Don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, do it anyway. What's the worst that can happen? Maybe a couple people won't laugh and a couple people will laugh. And also, I told a story in my stand-up about this crazy guy who tried to get me to come to Victorville. And that's my segue into my new segment that I'm doing on the socials right now. Make sure you're following me at LaKendra Tooks, at Tooks Takes on all the socials because I'm doing a new segment that I like to call Trolling with the Homies. Well, because you know right now, I'm not using the dating apps for dates. I'm only using them for material. So every now and then when I get a silly profile, I will be reading it on Trolling with the Homies. Spoiler alert. I did not go to Victorville. But anyway, oh my goodness, y'all, we got to get out of here. Ooh, we had a fun show today. Happy Wednesday. Thank y'all so much for spending it with me. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're getting so much great feedback. We are growing. We are on our way to becoming the #1 podcast on planet Earth. I thank y'all so much. I hope and I pray that my light helps you find your light and you shine so bright. And I will see y'all next time. Bye.